Hi everyone, I'm Dr. Gopi Krishnan. Welcome to this video lecture titled as Metallurgical and Materials Engineering, video lecture number 2. This is going to be the introduction to the materials. So what are materials? We have seen the definition of materials and the classification of materials in the previous video lecture. So without materials, there is no engineering. Every engineering is meant for producing the materials or the components for a given application. If there is no material, there is no engineering. We are going to see the classification of materials depending upon a number of factors in the subsequent slides. The materials are classified into a number of categories, and this is going to be the category number 1, in which all the materials that are found on the universe can be categorized as either a crystalline material or the amorphous material. So classification number 1, the materials can be a crystalline material. What is the literal meaning of crystalline material? These are the materials containing one or many crystals. In each crystal, atoms or ions show a long-range periodic arrangement. In other words, crystalline materials always follow the same pattern as far as their microstructures are considered. All the metals and the combination of metals, we call it as alloys, are crystalline in nature. So they can be classified under the title crystalline materials. Say for example, we have a number of materials for different applications. Every material has definite properties, and these materials we use in daily applications such as iron, steel, copper, brass, bronze, aluminium, duralumin, uranium, thorium, etc. All are classified under the title crystalline materials because they have the same microstructure in its body. Iron has a microstructure, steel has a different microstructure, copper has a different microstructure. But when you take a single material, it always follows the same pattern of the microstructure in its body. So these components are called as the crystalline materials. This is the category number 2, which is called as the amorphous material. The term amorphous refers to the materials that do not have the regular or the periodic arrangement of atoms. Say, for example, if the material has the same kind of microstructure in its body, then the material can be called as a crystalline material, which follows the same kind of crystals repeated in its microstructure. But few materials, they do not form a pattern in its microstructure. They follow different kind of patterns. They follow a different kind of arrangement of the atoms in its body. So these materials, which are not classified under the title of crystalline materials, are always called as the amorphous materials. Say for example, we can take the example of glass. It is going to be called as amorphous material because they do not have a definite structure in its microstructure. It follows a different kind of patterns at a different locations. It does not follow the same pattern. So the glass is always classified as the amorphous material. This is going to be the broad classification of the materials. Generally, we call the materials as the engineering materials because the materials that are used for the engineering application, that is for the day-to-day life or every application, in every application, the materials can be called as the engineering materials. The engineering materials can be broadly classified into metals, plastics, ceramics, or the composites. Metals can be further divided into ferrous metals and non-ferrous metals. The metals can be either crystalline or the amorphous. So the metals that do not form the crystalline structure can be classified under the title of amorphous, and also the metals that have iron in its microstructure is called as the ferrous material or the ferrous metal, and the material that does not contain iron in its microstructure and body is classified as non-ferrous metal. Say for example, steel, stainless steel, tool and die steel, cast irons are the examples of the ferrous materials, whereas the examples for the non-ferrous materials are aluminium, copper, titanium, tungsten, etc. Similarly, the plastics are also called as the polymers. They can be classified as the thermoplastics, thermoset plastics, or the elastomers. Thermoplastics, we can have a number of applications, number of examples, say for example, acrylics, ABS, nylon, polyethylene, polyvinyl chloride, etc. And thermosetting plastics can be either epoxy or phenolic or polyamide, etc. And the elastomers are also called as rubbers. It has a few classifications such as it can be either a rubber or it can be a silicone or it can be a polyurethane. Similarly, the ceramics are the third classification, which consists of different kinds of materials such as oxides, nitrides, carbides. These are classified under the title ceramics. Composites are a different kind of materials which can be classified into reinforced plastics or the metal matrix composites or the ceramic matrix composite materials. In this video lecture, we have seen the different classifications of the materials. In the subsequent slide, we will see the different kinds of properties that are available for the given material. Thank you for watching. Keep watching my videos.